Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, there are times when sometimes you gotta separate from family, right? And when you gotta separate from family, you gotta separate them from either they're being violent, there's domestic violence, there's, maybe it's just not a good pick, etc. There could be a numerous amount of reasons to go away from your family, except politics should not be one of them. I put that specifically. I would even say friends. Now, see, for me, I view friends as family. I have known friends for years now that have been my childhood friends and so forth. So therefore, when I know my friends, when I talk to them or whatever, and I talk to them practically daily, they become family to me. So I don't really do the whole blood is family type of deal, but whatever. Politics and whatever aside, you don't really kick them out unless you have legitimate reasons to. And apparently the far left is so bloody insane that they're going as far as to kick family members out because of them voting for Trump. That's really quite insane. We have this here saying, Antifa models fury at parents she pays for who voted for Trump. An anti-fascist OnlyFans model raged at her parents online after they voted for Donald Trump, which kind of shows everything on how lunatics they are in terms of that, because, OnlyFans models are have really great credentials and are sound mind individuals. Merrick DeVille went viral on X after she shared that she no longer wants a relationship with her MAGA parents in the wake of Trump's election win last week. My parents are downstairs right now. And this is pretty much what she says, right? She says, my parents are downstairs right now, in the house. I moved us into and whose bills I pay watching TV. They happily voted for Trump. I don't know how to be anything other than angry. 6 more months on the lease, and every day already I'm more angry. This is what we call unhinged. This is what we call unhealthy. This is the individual in question. Definitely a average-looking individual here. And definitely not dating material. She's the type of person that you would probably, move on to the next. She is not dating material. However, these people are insane. She goes on to say, they know I have extensive reproductive health issues. Oh, wow, that is not a surprise, considering you get blasted all the time and probably rearranging your organs to where maybe that might be an issue. But I digress. They know access to BC is the only thing between me and regular hospital visits. They know Trump is a fascist, which he's not. They don't even like him. They voted for him anyway. It feels like they spat in my face. Well, they probably voted for him because maybe he's the voice of reason and you're the voice of insanity. The Democrats have offered absolutely nothing to you. I'm convinced that now that there has been a lot of women that are just voting on actual emotion and no actual logic whatsoever. And even though that they're saying like, oh, I'm stabbing you in the face, please stop, you're still going to vote for the person that's stabbing you and making you bleed on the floor, but the person that's trying to rescue you, you just don't you don't vote for them. That's the point that I'm getting here, because insanity is pretty rampant. Goes on to say, my dad's fiance sent me a photo of when she voted, super chipper. I didn't bother to respond. My dad joked he was going to be sure to vote to cancel mine out. I don't even want to look at them. 6 more months on this lease, etc., etc. I don't know that we'll talk afterwards for a long time. That is completely absurd. It goes on to say, I don't know what I'm going to do yet. My father runs a business and has money coming in. His fiance owns millions and millions of worth property and a ranch. She's a landlord. She's never had a job or paid a bill. They could have tons of money. She doesn't sell anything. Probably because it's, just because you have something that's worth millions doesn't mean you would sell everything. I mean, this person's so needed for money that it's completely corrupted her mind and soul. So, again, as I stated a few times here on this channel, if I can be on this channel and make a decent living, be able to pay my stuff, pay my bills, and do whatever, that's fine with me. I don't need to be a millionaire. I don't need to be Tim Pool, Joe Rogan. I don't need to be these superstars or celebrity. In fact, I probably don't even want that type of fandom in the first place because it just seems to corrupt people. So, again, money is not everything. And having to be able to go out on a ranch in a rural area and just kind of like chill out. That sounds amazing. Living in the city is god awful. I don't want anybody would want to live there besides jobs. And unfortunately, I got to being a hypocrite myself because I live in the city and I wouldn't want to be here. As it goes on to say, I did not expect this to get this traction. Thank you to people being kind. People should just say I'm a controlling monster for being upset that my parents just voted to make my job illegal and hurt my healthcare. Try being a human for 2 seconds. I'll clarify some things. No, nothing's going to make you illegal. In fact, RFK is going to make you healthier. Yeah, maybe you'll have a healthier body. And probably not die from other things because RFK is planning to get rid of the FDA or do dramatic changes to maybe make everybody healthier. Yeah, that's part of the thing. And by the way, you're going to have your abortions and all the things that you want. Because apparently for you, abortion is your mantra. It is your go-to. It is your ability to not accept accountability. So let's go with that. It goes on to say, some of my followers will know that over the years, I worked for my father's business to help him. I'm owed a lot in unpaid wages and money I spent to buy supplies and put gas in the trucks. I know I never see a dime of that. People are pointing out this feels like exploitation. It's not. It's really not. You could just not do that at all. I mean, especially if you're of age, you don't have to do that. You don't. I think it probably is, and I tried to get him to move out before. We talked, he knows all my buttons suppressed. I crumbled and let him stay. I just lost my car, and I'm breaking up with the man I love. I feel very alone and don't look forward to cutting off my OnlyFam too. So yeah, you're you're willingly doing this. You're willingly destroying your own life, and you're really you're cutting off your fam too. You're doing that of your own volition. All these things are actions that you are doing yourself. So I like how you're trying to play the victim here, like, oh, I'm the victim. No, you're willingly cutting off your family because you have TDS and you need help, and you're breaking up with your boyfriend for whatever X reason, which probably doesn't want an OnlyFans model in the first place. But I digress. I don't go into the whole man thing, the whole man's world thing that we have on the channel. But again, it's really the same. Among them are a Yale child psychiatrist who told MSNBC host Joey Reid that it's fine to disown family members who voted for Trump. Oh yeah, that yes, that is also true. That is what happened here. So we have this individual, right? Oh yeah, this video is no longer available. So that's funny because we can just go and do this on there. But here's what we have here, specifically from Tucker Carlson Network fan account. And it says, the meltdown on The View continues. Host and Sunny Houston and Whoopi Goldberg tell viewers not to see their family over Thanksgiving if they voted for Trump. These people are insane.
But it will never be the defining point because toxic personalities don't have political affiliations. Mm-hmm. It's a personality trait that sucks. And we all are related to people like that. So whatever your reason is, I would never let my politics be the reason I don't show up to see my family, because they won't always be there.
I'm going to disagree. I completely understand her point because I really do feel that this candidate, President-elect Trump, is just a different type of candidate. From the things he's said and the things he's done and the things he will do, it's more of a moral issue for me. And I think it's more of a moral issue for other people. We're just, I would say it was different when, let's say, Bush got elected. You may not have agreed with his policies, but you didn't feel like he was a deeply flawed person, deeply flawed by character, deeply flawed in morality.
I think a lot of Dems called him deeply flawed and demonized him.
But you got to admit, they're very different figures. I mean, you along with Milley and along with John Kelly warned us about how deeply flawed he was as a candidate. And so I think when people feel that someone voted not only against their families, but against them and against people that they loved, I think it's okay to take a beat.
I don't have to like him to respect the voters.
Yeah,
if it meant not seeing your children?
I appreciate the voters, but I will say, somebody who tells me that my child is wrong because of how he or she feels, that tells me that they shouldn't be allowed to be who they are with my permission, I have to question it. I don't want to put my kid in that position.
Exactly.
I don't want to put my gay child in a position where she has to sit with someone who doesn't understand her and feels like it's okay to just blurt all that out. That's just me. But I feel like that with mixed families, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain things where you don't have to put your family in the middle of it. You can have dinner at another point, but it might not be the time to gather because you know there's going to be some tension. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not tense. My daughter's not gay. I just want to say that so that my daughter doesn't say, Ma, why you...
This is the unhinged of the left, right? This is the things that are going out here with these far left. Oh, just abandon your family. It's 100% okay. Abandon your family because of their political views, and that will solve everything. Like, how can you think this is not a cult? And if we go here and we just look at this, like, this is the yellow psychiatrist in question, right? Where it's just showing that, saying, oh, just leave your family members. Just leave them because, you know, because of the political differences, it's okay to do that.
Challenge with the idea of how do you interact with people who you know voted for this, right? If you are an LGBTQ person and you know someone in your family voted essentially against your rights, or you're a woman knowing that, you know, this man was calling people the B word, J.D. Vance was literally calling Kamala Harris the trash and said, we're going to take out the trash. I know a lot of Black women were incredibly triggered by that. And if you then meet somebody and you know they voted for the people who called you trash, or if you're Puerto Rican, you know, and you know someone voted that way, do you recommend, just from a psychological standpoint, being around them? We got the holidays coming up.
So I love that you asked this question because, you know, there is a push, I think just a societal norm that if somebody is your family, that they are entitled to your time. And I think the answer is absolutely not. So if you are going into a situation where you have family members, where you have close friends who you know have voted in ways that are against you, like what you said, against your livelihood, and it's completely fine to not be around those people and to tell them why, you know, to say, I have a problem with the way that you voted because it went against my very livelihood, and I'm not going to be around you this holiday. I need to take some space for me. And I actually
absolutely abhorrent. These people are in a cult. Straight up. These people are in a cult. And that's just the reality of it. They're in a cult. Because you do not just alienate your friends or your family because of political reasons. That's completely insane. This is what the message that the Democratic Party is spewing. And they're saying, like, oh, well, the right's in a cult. Really? Because are we telling our friends, our family, that we can't go and hang out with them because they're in a different political aligning? That's insane. And that's the problem that we have here. We have where these people are in a literal cult and they need help. Like, they have super problems here with the family members, and this is no different. So when we have people like this just go out and be like, oh, well, abandon your family, that's okay, because, you know, that's what you should do. Abandon your family and friends. No, that's asinine. Don't do that. They want you to be miserable and abandon your family because they're miserable, and they want you to be in the cult. And the point is for you to break out of that cult and say, no, I'm not going to listen to you. Don't listen to these fools and these idiots and the people in The View and this Yale professor or psychiatrist, which it probably hurt more people than not. And maybe you just choose to stay with your family. Now, there are some reasons and some examples to maybe avoid your family, right? Maybe they're been charged with actual being a rapist. Maybe they're an actual legitimate murderer. Or maybe they are a child grabber, and, you know, things like that. Some of those reasons to avoid them, yeah, that makes sense. You just do not associate or deal with your family in those situations. But if it's due to voting or who you voted for or for your political stance to avoid them, that's completely asinine in every way possible. That is stupid. And the fact that they want you in their cult and blaming you for voting the same way and to avoid your family says a lot about them than it says about anybody else. So, yeah. Alright, guys, that's it for the video. Let's guys share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted. about what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted. Cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.